Welcome all to episode 17 of Something Newsy, your favorite podcast brought to you by Community College Newsroom. We have a action-packed episode today. I am joined by some of your favorite Mesa College writers.
My name is Racheal, I'm the features editor.
My name is Lance, I'm the resident film critic.
My name is Stephanie, I'm the editor-in-chief.
Renee, news editor.
My name is Jaqueline, and I'm the photo editor.
I'm Alex, I'm a staff writer.
And I'm David Doss, the sports editor. So, let's not waste any time. Got a bunch of great topics. Who likes dying? Climate change. Number one. Can't forget about it. Let's talk.
Yikes, that's a big one.
Alex, I think you got some feelings on this?
Yeah, I do. As we've seen, we've been seeing a lot of wildfires, especially in November, and I just wanted to talk about the changes we've been witnessing in California lately. Climate change has been a predicament that is becoming more apparent in people's lives and livelihoods. In Southern California, we're experiencing an increase of heat during the summer, recurring drought, sea level rising, erosion, toxic algae blooms, and decreasing water supply. And these aren't excuse me. These threatening changes are even so becoming more apparent in our local lagoons and homes. And recently, last year, the San Alejo Lagoon had started a $100 million project to conserve the habitat there due to the toxic sediments that have been lying below the lagoons that have been killing the species there.
Did you see these in person?
I've driven past it. I've noticed how gross it kind of gets walking towards it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like actual trash, just trash bags, and wrappers, and just gross stuff like that, and
it's coming from the sewage.
Yeah, the sewage. That's
drain.
another problem. According to the San Alejo Lagoon Conservancy Director Doug Gibson, he stated that that's been a problem for over a decade, the sewage waste going into the lagoon, but they're planning on getting it out and making mud flats and a better water flow, so the species have a better chance over the years.
Does it have anything to do with the algae? Is the algae doing anything bad in that area, or is it just the sewer?
It's mostly just the sewer.
Oh, okay.
Really. Yeah.
Okay. So they're not cleaning it up yet? They're just talking about cleaning it up?
No. They're finally starting the project. It had a late start last year, but now they're still working on it.
Oh, so it's been a problem for a decade, and now they're jumping in.
Yeah, they started last year, 2018, but they're finally.
Yeah.
Better late than never.
Yeah.
Yeah, what have they been doing since then? Has it just been piling up?
Yeah, over the years.
Nice.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's happening in our backyard.
I think we should see how big we can get this problem. You know, I want to go for record numbers.
How big the build-up could get?
Yeah, how high can our tides rise? How hot can our sun get? You know, we're America, number one, baby.
Bigger the better.
Yeah.
More pollution. The number one polluting country.
Oh, God.
Just see how far we can push our limits until we just explode and die.
Well, according to NASA, their studies, it's just a prediction, but 2100, the sea levels will rise by 4 feet.
Wow.
2,100.
Yeah.
4 feet.
4 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially living in a coastal city. I don't know if you guys have been to La Jolla Coves, you can kayak there. And one of the kayaking leaders showed us a piece of the cliff that used to be like this multi-million-dollar home.
Yeah.
And like 20 years ago. And just because of erosion, it fell into the ocean. And then the owner had to pay like $250,000 to like get people in the ocean and clean up all of the debris because that area is like for scientific research. But isn't that insane? Like to spend that kind of much money on a house and then climate change.
That's interesting because
It's
I've seen these houses in some places that are exactly like what you're talking about, where it's actually like this is the cliff and then the house is right here.
Yeah.
And it's like there's nothing going on here. But I guess, I mean, I feel like they should probably remove it before that happens to avoid that fee, because they probably did have some time to know that was going to happen.
Probably.
But they're probably, like, trying to not believe it.
Just ignorant rich people, you know?
Yeah, like,
what's
trying to
new?
change their narrative.
Speaking of ignorant rich people, let's talk about vegans.
Nice.
So much stuff.
How you
Keeping it spicy.
Oh, okay, sure. My story.
Yeah.
Well, I was never like against vegetarians or vegans or anything like that. So I just was curious about it, and it's been a lot more in the media in the recent years. So I just basically found out information about it. I remember this one guy that was like my friend's friend was talking about it and said that, like, he said something about that he didn't see why, with all like the meat substitute and the different foods we have now, why we need to, you know, keep eating animals and things like that. And that just kind of stuck in my mind for a few years, and I mulled over it for many years. And I actually went to Sips one day with my friend who was also transitioning to being vegan. And Sips, if you don't know, is a vegan restaurant in San Diego.
I have not tried this.
Oh, you should go.
Okay.
It's really good.
Yum.
So Sips, and then I remember I had this vegan pad thai that had like chicken strips in it. And then that's where I was like, you know, there's no reason to keep eating meat. Like, this tastes so good and it's so realistic. There really is no reason anymore. And then from there, I just found out, like, I did a lot of my own research, like, educated myself.
That's so important.
Yeah, and it just made more and more sense to go vegan. And, you know, if, like, I'm going to say that I stand for certain values, like, I needed to enact it in everyday life. I can't just, you know, say that I do it and then do the opposite. So it was just in line with all my values. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I feel like people like need to understand that it's not about like forcing people to be vegan, but to have less animals in your plate. Like, I feel like dairy is like super bad for you, like super like
and
for
the
the
environment.
environment. The way we treat animals now is just becoming a business. It's not. It's like more like, for example, like how we're gonna get a different plate out in the restaurant instead of like how can we help the environment and little things like that. So that's how I think of it.
It's all about profits too. Like, the dairy industry has declined so much just this year, and it's just proof that, you know, with veganism on the rise, that those products are becoming more profitable, like alternative milks, you know, and that's a great thing
and
to
they
see.
lie to you, and
That's
like
pretty.
of the corn, they lie to you. They say, "Oh, it's organic in this, but
free
but it's
range,
really
yeah,
not."
okay.
Yeah, they show you these, like, these grass-fed cows, and they're like, that's not how they
but
live.
it's not.
What if they
They're
do?
knee-deep in poop.
They're not only like private farmers, if even that, treat their animals respectably and humanely. Which what does that word even mean anymore?
Yeah, they're still taking them out, you know, early.
Yeah.
It's not like they're letting them live out their entire life, because no one's going to like eat like an old cow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's the whole point where people say, like, oh, well, we slaughter them humanely. Excuse me, slaughter is not humane. You know, like, they didn't want to die. And so there's no, like, that can't be humane. It doesn't make sense.
And
I think
cows
so.
sorry. Cows are pregnant pretty much all year, you know?
Yeah.
They don't get a rest. So
They're inseminated
just
always.
imagine, like, all the pus and everything. You're drinking the milk, so.
And the antibiotics
Yeah.
are going into your body.
Yeah, like, one time I worked with this girl when I worked at this cupcake shop. And then she would say things like, oh, I don't want to go to the doctor and take antibiotics. Meanwhile, she was guzzling all this dairy. And it's like, there's so many antibiotics in your dairy. Why are you complaining
And
about
hormones.
that? Yeah.
Yeah. And talk about feeling crazy.
And they will give you pimples.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was the dirty sheets, but
No, I know.
It's your
Us
dirty
girls, we have a lot of
Maybe the dirty
hormones.
sheets.
alright, I can stop washing.
No.
It also like hampers your sexual life too.
That's right.
This, yeah, animal products.
That's what's
Well,
my issue.
Well, I think that's like that's the best way to get people to not eat meat. You're like, it's gonna make your sex life
Yeah.
horrible.
It makes your sex drive die.
Yeah.
You're going to be so
How
crusty.
does that happen?
Yeah, how does that happen?
Is it
I
something
read-
with the hormones?
I
Or like,
It lowers your testosterone levels in men.
uh-huh.
I'm not sure what it does to women, but
Yeah.
We do have testosterone as well.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it loves ours too.
duh, I knew that. Well, anyway, going into animals and, you know, wanting to have the best lives for them, let's talk about SeaWorld.
Yes, let's. So I kayak out in the bay. So we're here in San Diego, and every time I go to kayak, I drive by SeaWorld, and it just amazes me that their parking lot is always full of cars, even with blackfish and, you know, all these things going on. And so I kind of want to open a discussion with you guys to see what your opinions are based off SeaWorld. Obviously, they do a lot of good, but do you guys think it's okay to... Go for it.
Keep going.
Oh.
Sorry.
I don't know.
I was
Do you
just.
think it's okay?
I have many opinions on SeaWorld, but I was just going to bring up because you were talking about the parking lot. Have you guys seen that picture or meme floating around on the internet where it's like from an aerial view and it shows SeaWorld's parking lot compared to the whale tank,
Oh no, I didn't
Yeah.
see
and
that.
it's like 5 times as big. Like the parking lot's massive, and then it shows the tiny little whale tank.
That's
So
so sad.
it really
I like that
puts
they
it
did
into
that though.
I
That's,
haven't seen
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
and-
Google it. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
To be fair, most cars are bigger than most whales.
that's not true.
I don't
What car is
I don't
bigger?
know.
We're no orcas,
Whales?
I don't know.
not a dolphin.
I have seen several cars. I don't know how many whales I've seen.
Maybe like the new
They look
Cybertruck.
big.
I don't know what the hell you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, so in the wild they swim like over 100 miles a day. So SeaWorld is expanding their tanks. So I think the new tank is like 0.07 miles long. So they would have to swim, I think it's like 1,500 times back and forth to get the same experience they would have in the wild. There's also no protection, so in the tanks they can only dive, I believe, 50 feet deep, versus in the wild they can, you know, it's like over 100. So there's also particles in the water that stop the UV rays, so they're literally just like baking in these. So they spread, it's like a zinc, kind of like a sunscreen kind of thing on them, so that their skins don't get lesions, which they still do. They get pneumonia from the bad water quality, cataracts and damage to the eyes. They grind their teeth on the bars, and
Good
yeah.
grief.
And so they started in 1965, and at that time, I get it, like, we didn't have other ways to, like, educate ourselves. Like, I would love to see an orca too, but, like, now we have the internet and VR and all these things, so it's kind of, like, a dated thing.
I think it's actually creating a lot of jobs at SeaWorld. Not for the people, for the whales. Think about it. Okay, we have all these whales, unemployed, every day, just swimming around there hundreds of miles without a care in the world. Alright? I'd like to see them put to work.
They have responsibilities in the wild.
Yeah, they're a large part of the ecosystem. Yeah.
They have full-time jobs.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the
I don't
state of
know
our
what you're
coral
talking about.
reefs?
Working overtime.
Not really.
Didn't see that resistance.
Yeah, and although SeaWorld does a lot of good, obviously, like, they invest in a lot of conservation, all these things, you have to kind of think, like, how much money are they spending on the actual parks themselves? So to pay everybody, to keep the lights on. So when you go and buy a ticket to SeaWorld, you're not really, like, donating money to conservation. You're donating a very small portion of that. So, like, instead of you spending whatever it is, $60 to go to SeaWorld, why don't you, like, donate $60 to a wildlife conservation
Yeah,
effort?
That would
Yeah.
make more
Fun
sense.
to-
Or
Yeah.
sanctuary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the issue with that is SeaWorld, companies have offered to, like, front the bill for a seaside sanctuary, so SeaWorld could send the orcas they have now to kind of live out the rest of their lives. And SeaWorld has, like, denied it. And the only reason is because that's why people go to
Right.
SeaWorld. So,
Wow.
yeah, they're pretty greedy company.
Sounds like a good business model.
Well, they've lost, like, 7 CEOs in the last, like, couple months or something. Like, something
Oh,
crazy.
really?
Yeah, and 1,500 people have been laid off.
Wow.
It's pretty bad.
Are they not doing very well then? Or
Attendance has dropped, but it's still going. Like, I think the Texas location is doing well. It's just the atmosphere of Texas itself. Maybe California, we have, like, new laws, so we're the one who pushed. They can't breed them anymore. So the orcas they have in captivity now are going to be the last ones. But the youngest one is 4.5 years old. So, like, in the wild they live, like, to 80 or something. In captivity around 10 to 30. So don't go to SeaWorld.
Half.
I know, it's pretty bad.
So it cuts their life by like 1/8. Like it makes it 1/8 of their life.
And they're extremely intelligent, so it's like, can you imagine like swimming in a circle and like floating? I don't know. Sounds pretty horrible. I would go crazy.
It's
Like,
Well, that's, I mean, in Blackfish, one of the main things they talked about was the dorsal fins collapsing from depression, and how that's not something that's seen in the wild. So it's really sad.
That is.
I'm really surprised that since Blackfish, they still had people going.
yeah, it definitely took a hit, and then since it's been, it's a typical thing, like, it gets in the news, so the company gets a hit, and then it kind of, like, comes back up, so as it kind of cools down a little bit, people are like, okay, now it's fine to go again.
Yeah.
But...
Wait, so the orcas they have right now are the last ones that they're going to breed?
yeah, so they passed a law saying they're not allowed to breed them anymore.
But they might still go out into the wild and get more.
They're not allowed to capture them. They stopped doing that a while ago, so that was a law. And then, so I think there's like 22 orcas in the United States, and SeaWorld has 21 of them. One of them,
SeaWorld?
yeah, the other one is called Lolita. It's in Florida, and it's, if you think SeaWorld is sad, like, this tank is even smaller. Like, the length of the tank is almost its, like, body.
Oh my
It's
God.
so, and it's just that one, and
And that's not a
Wow.
different,
yeah,
aquatic park?
it's like Miami Seaquarium
Oh,
or
gosh.
something, and they're like, so they have like hurricanes and stuff, and they actually obviously have to like leave them, and so they come back and there's like all this debris in the tanks, and
Oh my god.
yeah.
So the orcas that SeaWorld has now could be the last ones that they have.
Yeah, so supposedly they're transitioning more into like an amusement park, so that's why they're building roller coasters. And I mean, if they were to put all the orcas and animals in a seaside thing and do a water park, I would buy a season ticket like instantly. But the fact that they're resisting kind of speaks about the company motto. So
You guys know what else a theme park needs besides rides and animal abuse to be successful? Food.
true.
Which is why we're talking about something very important. So Mesa has a cafeteria, as I'm sure all the students here are aware. And you might not be aware, way better than you'd expect. So I have gone ahead, done the very laborious task of sampling each and every food item, and I've decided the best of the best so you guys don't have to waste your time.
I have a question.
Each and every.
More money.
You got everything.
Each and every.
Each and every.
I didn't eat the vegan things.
Because
So,
I actually just went and had one on Friday, the vegan burger that they
did
have.
you like
Oh,
it?
is it good?
Yeah, it was really good.
But which one? The Impossible?
I tried the Beyond Burger.
Beyond is
Oh, yes.
amazing.
Yeah, at the Mesa Grill, and it was like really good.
Well, that's actually a good segue into my zero pick. Number 0, the worst, the loser will never win. Don't buy it. It's the Mesa burger. Costs $3 more than the regular burger. They say it's bigger. It's not. It just takes an extra 8 minutes to cook. And you shouldn't buy one. Ever. Stop selling
Mesa
it.
Grill.
It's at Mesa Grill.
What
Can you
makes it
believe they allow that?
What makes it different than the regular?
Yeah.
They claim it's slightly bigger. It's a Mesa burger.
That's
It's
the
not
only
just a
thing?
cheeseburger. Yeah.
Oh.
So do
Oh.
they add more things to it too, though, or not?
Like
No.
extra veggies?
No.
I watched 3 people go get their cheeseburgers while I waited for my Mesa burger.
Do you get free avocado?
I feel your
'Cause
No.
Oh, see, that's
patty
actually
Free
Absolutely not.
avocado does
The
not
patty is
sit
terrible.
in
The Mesa
our
burger.
society. It's always a
I
dollar.
would have like truffles on that. You can pay $3.
Yeah, so
They did. They threw a bunch of the leftovers and called it a Mesa Burger.
oh, I bet that could be what the regular cheeseburger is. I could be getting a good value and don't even know. But anyway, speaking of value, let's go back to this list. We have our value winner, or our ex-value champ. It was the corn dog. Corn dog at Mesa, not something people would get, but it comes out quick, it's ready to go, and it's like $2.50. So the other day, was enjoying my corn dog, feeling great. It's a one-handed food. How can you not enjoy it? It was going great until the next morning. Just vomit, but it was dry. It was unlike anything before. It was as if I was handling cat food. You know, it was literally just like a hairball. forcing out a dry lump of vomit is insane. So I'm gonna say avoid the corn dog as well.
What?
Scandal.
Never favor of the corn
He
dog.
said X.
Yeah, X.
Oh,
X.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was confused.
So that title goes to the pizza now for sure. Old Reliable. Just pick your slice, always ready to go. You can get 2 and a drink for $5.
It just makes me nervous how long they're sitting there.
Ew.
I've had pizza
I
sit
guess-
in my apartment for longer.
That's true.
I've let it sit next to my bed and still take a bite out of it the next day.
Well, I mean, if you're eating pizza, which has cheese, which has pus and blood in it, it's fine if it's been sitting out.
Yeah, it's got all those antibiotics too.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna kill all the germs.
And that grease just like really cakes it in, so it's protected. I guess.
Definitely.
Yeah.
For breakfast, this one's also very fast. The breakfast burritos, they also have veggie ones. There's in the hot box ready to go. You ask, pulls it out, slaps in your face, you're ready to go to your 8 a.m. And for the grand finale, there's two kinds of people in this world. The people that can either always have Chinese food or always have Mexican food. Variation of Chinese food. Take your pick. But Mesa sells Chinese. I'm a Chinese food guy. That's always me every day of the week. If I got to study, if I'm sitting there, I'm in a bowl of chow mein. The rice, not great. It's minute rice. So
Is it white rice?
yeah, the white minute rice. It's minute rice. So chow mein, definitely what you get. For the Mexican food people, at California Burrito, #1 every time. It's got curly fries instead. Go! Let me tell you. Curly fries in a burrito change your life. For our honorable mention, the Boar's Head sandwich. It's a sandwich, and it's a good one. All right, and that's it for Something Newsy this week. Anyone else got anything to close?
Reminder: don't go to SeaWorld. Anyone
yeah.
else?
Try
Watch
and
out.
keep meat off your plate. Sorry, Renee. Sorry.
Watch out for the apocalypse.
Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Finish strong.
Yeah.
Or Hanukkah.